Hey guys, Sam from Everything PSP here. Today I'm just doing a quick video showing you guys how to replace a battery on a PS5 controller. As you can see, this controller that I've had since the launch of the console won't even last for half an hour without crapping out, and I just had enough. So in the car we go. I found a retailer online, eTech, that has replacement PS5 batteries as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. Now we're just going to pop over to PB Tech because there is a cover that I want to grab just to jazz up the controller. It was cheap on sale, so just popping in here, we're going to grab that. Shout out to the staff, they were very helpful today. So we've got our little silicone cover and our battery. Now let's get back and I'll show you how to do it. So basically we're going to turn the controller off. Then all you need is a screwdriver and something thin. I'm using the knife from my Swiss Army knife, but you can use a proper trim tool if you have one. We've got our battery and then the silicone cover. So the first thing we'll do is just take the battery out and have a look. Now this does say 3500 milliamp. I don't think it is, but anything's better than the 30 minutes of playtime we're getting at the moment. So to start with, we're just going to remove this piece of black trim. You can see I'm using the sharp end of the knife to get in there and just pry it open. From there we can use our hands. So we just pull each side up and then slowly pry away at the plastic. Now this is probably the most fiddly part to take off. Just be patient with it, you don't want to break anything, and just slowly keep pulling around the joysticks until it comes free, as you can see in the video here. So we'll put that aside and move on to the screws. This is exposed 2 screws here, and also under here, if we use our blade again and just pop out the L1 button, you'll see that it'll expose another screw behind, and there's also another screw behind the R1. Pop that out in the same fashion. Okay, and now we're just going to use our Phillips head screwdriver. It's a size 00, and all the screws are the same, so don't worry if you mix them up. You take those 4 screws out, and now we can pry open the side of the controller. So just open it at the bottom to start with, on each side, and then you can run your nail or a tool along the edge. There's a clip at the top that needs to come off. Once that's done, repeat it on the other side, and now the back panel is loose. So the next step is also a little bit fiddly. Once we take these 2 retaining tabs off the front, the whole back panel will be loose and we can remove it. But in a similar sense to the black bezel on the front, this takes a little bit of strategic maneuvering. It's quite hard to convey on camera, but so long as you're patient and you just keep wiggling it, eventually it'll come free. We're basically trying to lift it down and away like this, and that will let you lift it up and away to reveal the battery compartment. So the standard Sony battery does have pretty good lifespan. I mean, I've had this controller since the console launched, and it's only now been showing signs of age. But this is a really easy way to get the controller back up and running without having to replace the whole thing. Otherwise, there's no problem with this controller at all, no stick drift, nothing like that. So just make sure that when you push the connector in, that the colors of the wires are the same as the battery that you took out. So for me, the red is on the left there. Also make sure you tuck the wires under the little retaining hook there on the side. Now this aftermarket battery doesn't fit perfectly like the OEM one, so it did require a little bit of gentle force just to squeeze it in there. And that's it, it's all in there nicely. So to reassemble, it's basically just a reverse of the process we did to disassemble. So we'll start by putting this cover on and just shimmying it into place, making sure it doesn't get caught on anything, and closing the tabs all around. Then we can go ahead and insert the screws. So we have the two on the top, then our L1 and R1 buttons can go in. Make sure they're all nice. And then we do the two screws on the bottom. Make sure it's nice and snug again. And the last step is to wrestle with this bezel. So there are little tabs inside that have to slot in. It is quite tricky to get done the first try, but if you're persistent and just go gently with it, it should be fine. Okay, so that's all done. We're going to pop the old battery away and quickly show you the silicone cover that I bought. So this was kind of like trying to put on a wetsuit or like a really tight pair of jeans. Trying to put pants on this controller was quite tricky. I didn't want to stretch it and break it, so I just very carefully fed it all the way around until it was nice and snug. The quality of the cover was actually pretty good, so I'm happy with that. And now we've got a good working battery inside the controller, so we can hop back into Fortnite and get ourselves a crown victory. So that's about it for today. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay notified of future releases. I've been your host Sam, and I'll see you next time on Everything PSP.